further ado, let's jump in. What do we want to cover today? What do you guys need help with? Yeah, go ahead. Is it Khadijah?
Yes, forgive me, I'm driving. I would usually have my camera on, but hi everybody. Happy Monday. Well, it's Monday where I am. I don't know if we're on different time zones, but happy Monday. So I am just getting into the high ticket sales space. I'm currently in Shelby Sapp's She Sales Academy. And so I've been going through the program. I really like what I'm learning so far. I also did go ahead and make a profile on the Rep Select platform, which is really awesome, by the way. So I have some experience selling my own like high ticket product. I didn't really like push it like that, but I do have like some experience like closing my own high ticket. Like it was like a spiritual course for like spiritual entrepreneurs. And I was just wondering like how would I market myself with having like very little experience, like either with like the profile or just like with like loom videos, like what could I say to like position myself so that like if I'm shooting out these looms to different uh entrepreneurs or business people, like what could I say to like make myself be more appealing to hire?
Yeah, if you sold your own kind of high ticket program, obviously you've got some track record to speak on there. But for someone without any closing history, any experience in that sense, it's less about what you say, or sorry, yeah, it's less about what you say and how you say it, how you come across. Because the whole point of the intro video is to assess your communication skills. And then your track record is kind of the cherry on top after they see that you can articulate yourself confidently, that you can sell yourself well, that in that video they're also assessing like do you have the proper setup and place to actually do sales calls, especially those B2B offers where they know they're going to put you in front of business owners, where if it doesn't look like you're in a dedicated space, have a good microphone quality, camera quality, all those stuff, they'll write you off even if you do have a track record there. So the less track record you have, the more weight is put on your communication skills in that intro video, and you want to just find ways to prove you can sell. So one of the best ways to do that is through role plays, mock call examples, and then I always tell people to kind of clip those up into, kind of like highlight tapes like they do for sports. Like, this is how I do a discovery, this is how I pitch, this is how I handle certain objections. And all business owners are looking for there, yes, if you ask them, they'll say they're looking for someone who handles objections well, but what they're really looking for is someone who shares a similar sales ideology, right? They want to see that you would handle objections the way they believe is the best way to handle those objections, because I'm sure you've seen with content, with trainers, everyone has their own but similar ideas for how to handle certain objections or what word tracks to use, how to do a discovery. And realistically, those role plays just kind of let business owners see that there's a match between ideologies. Like, oh,
Okay.
watching those clips, I see that you would do a discovery call the same way I would, or the way our top reps do it. And if they see that alignment, plus they look at your intro video and in that role play that you have strong communication skills, good camera quality, audio, all that stuff, then you can land roles even without having an extensive track record with millions cash collected.
Okay, thank you so much. And how do you say your name?
Ty,
Ty. Thank you so much, Ty.
no problem. What else we got?
Yeah, Ty, how you going, mate?
What's up, Daniel?
Thanks for putting on the chat today. Really appreciate it. So I guess I come from predominantly a business development background. I've got a lot of experience in like FMCG and all sorts of stuff like that. Trying to transition into the remote space. Obviously have a strong background in sales, but don't necessarily have the experience in remote setting. And I'm just wondering how I could translate that across in an effective way. And as a side question, if you have any like appointment setting frameworks that might be suitable for me to review. I found a lot of closing frameworks that I find pretty applicable. But yeah, I'm not finding a lot for appointment setting. And what I'm sort of finding is I think the logical progression is to start with appointment setting to get a thorough understanding and move forward. And I just can't seem to locate that material.
Yeah, we've got we've got it on the Rep Select platform in the training kind of portal. I'll double check tomorrow and make sure we've got the appointment setting stuff there because we're still transitioning a lot of the content from school to the platform directly. But we've got like how to do the actual triage call pitch portion, how to do the whole discovery in a setting perspective, how to run the setting call, that kind of stuff. So by tomorrow, that all that content should be on there. If you have a Rev Select account, you just on your profile there'll be a button that says Training Portal. You click that. There'll be a section that says Appointment Setting. Click that. By end of day tomorrow, that'll be there for you.
Awesome.
You said that you did business development. Were you like doing software sales? What were you doing?
So all sorts of different stuff. I would just generally get around the region and create mutually valuable connections between business to business. So currently I'm in media, like radio. I've also done fast moving consumer goods like premium vegan ice cream, hardware like printers and cloud Azure software. Things it's pretty diverse actually. Yeah, it's more around just having consultative conversations and getting to understand companies, their target market, goals, aspirations, the message that they're trying to get across, or whatever the case may be. And then, through company and market research, just finding the way I can facilitate the most value for them between both companies.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, when it comes to, I mean, this is for the interview process, but this is also just for sales in general. The weirder you make it seem or the more different or out of place you make it seem is how the person's going to take it. So if you get on interviews and you're like, I know it's different, I know it's not sales, I know it's, and you treat it that way, then they're going to take it that way. But if you just go on there assuming that it's all relative and it's all relevant, then they'll take it that way as well. So I would almost present it as if like, yeah, I mean, it's similar if not the same thing. Like, I know how to sell. You'd like go in with that confidence because what you're doing was sales. And then when it comes to how to formulate it, business owners are looking for people that, like, at the end of the day, you're someone who's a producer at the company. So if you can talk about your past experience and history in a way that showcases that you produced or you achieved things there, even if it wasn't sales, even if you didn't sell anything, even if you didn't generate revenue, people want to bring on people that are winners essentially, right? Like if you went in there, if you were a top performer, mention that. If you helped the company reach a new height, mention that. If you did generate revenue, mention that. If you have any, like, take the sexiest numbers or facts, mention that. If there was an amount of appointments, if there was a close rate, if there was a show rate, what did you achieve while there would be huge. Did you help them onboard their biggest client? Did you know what I mean? Start to present
Yeah.
those facts, those numbers. And that's going to be, again, presenting it with a degree of confidence, and good communication skills is going to take you a long way with that experience, because most business owners in this space will see kind of like BDR, account executive, SDR stuff as relative anyway. So don't go in there
Oh.
assuming that it's like a totally different world, because it's not that different.
Yeah, like I can see there's definite links where I can carry over my skills, for instance, consultative talk track and all that sort of stuff. I do actually just have one more question if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
taking too much time away from everyone. So I used to own a company that was a clothing label revolving around ethical fashion, and it was, higher price point sort of attire. Can I ethically say that because like what I used to do is approach other companies to get my clothing in store, and generally, your average like purchase order price is around 20 grand or whatever. Technically that's high ticket, right? Even though I'm not working
Well,
for
it is. It definitely is. All right. Like I would avoid any of that language of like, well, technically, like it is. It was. You were selling your service for 20 grand or more. That's the high ticket sales. You know, at the end of the
awesome,
day,
cool.
right? So I
Yeah.
would definitely utilize that. And when you're making, this goes for everyone. When you're making intro videos, when you're, recording content or whatever for the business owners, try not to speak about yourself in a way that indicates the transition or indicates how new you are to it, because at the end of the day, the intro video, its goal is to be like a movie trailer, right? So you want to avoid, instead of saying stuff like, well, now I'm looking to get into this, or now I'm trying to transition to this, talk about your experience that wasn't directly high ticket sales, but your transition language is, this is how that made me a great closer, makes me a great appointment setter. Instead of being like, I did X and now I'm transitioning into this. Instead, you'll say, I did X, Y, and Z, and my experience in that is what helps me or has helped me become a great closer, has helped me in my appointment setting, has helped me close more deals, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that'll help a lot.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
No problem. What other questions we have? All done. Lily, you had something to say? What's up?
Yeah. Hi. Hi, everyone. I just want to present myself. I am from Serbia, from Belgrade, and I'm for the last 4.5 years in the high ticket space. Before that, I was running my own beauty business, entrepreneurial background, and I just left the offer, which was a career coaching offer, and I helped this business scale from 30K per month to 150K per month. And now I'm looking for the new growth and new opportunities. I just would like to ask, if I subscribe for the listings and job offers, on the platform, because I saw some of the comments or something like this that they are finding those things that like from Zach Brown or something like that. Can you just give me a little bit more about this? Like $17, $18 per month, not a big deal, but again, access to this listings and everything else.
Yeah, we got a long list of stuff we provide there. The main benefit being vetted opportunities. So I'm sure everyone here that's looked for jobs, you're no stranger to like the spam you get on Facebook groups, the bait and switch offers, LinkedIn, Indeed, just not having a very big collection of jobs in the first place for this industry specifically. So we've got kind of two sections there where I've got my team vetting the opportunities, making sure job posts are legit, making sure the website, stuff like that's legit. We've got an AI doing a full like background check on the company as well, looking at like domain age, looking at filings, looking at reviews, testimonials, making sure there's no weird stuff online. And then we also list the sources as well, right alongside the job description. And it, gives you questions to ask the company, considerations that might be red flags, green flags. Just you won't find that on any other job description. It's just
Right.
information that
Right.
helps
Okay.
you make more informed decisions than just whatever they decide to put in the job description. We also have a list of the top recruiters in the industry. So Zach Brown's on our list. We've got Closers.io. We've got Win It Sales. We've got about 30 different recruiters there that for someone like you, Lily, who has, years of experience, the fastest way you'd get on a good offer would be hit up that list of recruiters and you could get placed. Like those guys are hiring for hundreds of roles a week. As well as if you create a profile, your profile looks good. We've got hundreds of business owners literally just scrolling through the platform, looking at
Yeah.
profiles just like how you're looking at jobs and inviting reps to opportunities. So a lot of
Yeah.
people, there's like a DM chat feature where you'll receive inbound invites if you've got a good profile. I mean, and there's lots of other stuff there.
I just created the profile. But I guess the only subscription will get the 100%, right?
In terms of like completing your profile, no, having your profile listed, you don't actually have to be subscribed to get that. You just have to fill out all the information. So like make sure your email's verified, add an intro video, add your career preferences. Once you fill everything out, your profile will be listed for recruiters and business owners to look at whether you're subscribed or not.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions?
Thanks. Not for now, but maybe later. Thanks.
No problem.
I'll have another go if no one's got one off the top of their head, if it's all right.
Yeah, go ahead, Daniel, and then we'll hit up Daria.
Yeah, cool. Awesome, man. So I caught your video on AI and how to sort of turn it into a sales coach. Absolutely phenomenal for me. I've gone ahead and implemented that, and I probably did that about 5 or 6 days ago. Training I'm getting off that's fantastic. I think it's a great way to fit in between the gaps if I have no shows or whatever, and just implementing it. To build on to that, is there any way you can sort of highlight how we might be able to automate, for instance, like I've heard that it can go through our emails, sort of do a little bit of pre-research on people that clients we might be speaking to or whatever. Have you got any just random tips about streamlining and automation?
Yeah, streamlining it. Well, there's two ways to do it. You could either build something yourself, so that depends on how techy you are. I mean, there's like AI software developer tools. One we use is Cursor, which you kind of prompt it, it builds the software from scratch, but then you got to learn like APIs and how to connect it to Gmail and all this other stuff. And then there's
Mm.
simpler tools. I'm sure if you literally ask ChatGPT, like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, is there an AI tool that already does that? Like goes through my email inbox and responds to stuff. So for example, I know Instantly is a cold email outreach thing, and they've got an AI sales agent that will find leads in your niche and then email them. But it'll also manage your inbox and respond to your inbox. With all of these things, it just comes down to, is it worth paying for the AI credits to have it do it? And if it is,
Yeah.
then yeah, you can definitely go about it. But people are making tools all over the place. I would say look look for it to kind of automate the stuff that's a little bit more monotonous. Tracking, just putting numbers on sheets. Researching people. Like you can easily make an AI that like you just put in a company website and it researches a ton of. I mean, that's kind of what we do with the RepSelect AI Insights. When someone posts a job post, the AI searches all over the internet for LinkedIn CEOs, sales managers, recommended contacts, who to reach out to, emails, phone numbers, and kind of consolidates it. And we put that on the job post. But you as a sales rep can also do that if you're trying to reach out to a company to sell something. You can kind of have it do your prospecting for you in that sense, to find like the contacts, the emails, the anything that you kind of want it to do. But all these things cost like AI credits and stuff. So, but it's not that
Okay.
expensive. So yeah,
Nice. All right. Cool. Thank you.
cool. Daria, you had a question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for hosting the training and
No problem.
doing this Q&A. I love the platform. Is there any, I guess, any more context you can give advice for how to optimize the profile? I think I come from, I guess, a finance industry, like traditional, and I have extensive amount of experience. It is high ticket, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
So on the profile, I can't provide any specific. I think there's a section where you do
the
like
revenue.
reports, and some companies ask for uh, data. So that I cannot provide. So I'm able to speak on that, but is there anything else to make the profile stand out online that when recruiters look at it, they're like, okay, this person stands out.
Yeah, when you did it, what did you do in finance? Was it like managing accounts, or like what did you do?
I mean, I got up to a point of being a CEO of a firm. So I had my own sales team. I managed a team of journalists and a CFA. So we did like data analytics, report analysis, and we did stock analysis. And then we sold marketing packages. Essentially, we made the stock go up with our marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a
So
blend of traditional finance as well as continuous sales because there's thousands of public companies on stock exchanges. So I have my own coaching and consulting practice. So I've created offers and I work with people that create offers in their practice. So
yeah, you could use the revenue that you were responsible for generating on the sales side as a manager,
mhm,
and in your own practice as just revenue numbers, like
mhm.
using what your sales team generated, aside from things that didn't like weren't directly selling stuff, but the things that were, utilize that. And then you can also mention in like the profile summary, or like the employment history bio part, a little bit more details on what it is you were doing, utilizing that portfolio section to give different. You don't just have to put call recordings there. You can put screenshots of
Mhm.
tracking sheets. You can put, you know, pictures of whatever it is that showcases what you've done, whether it's
Okay.
tracking sheets, revenue numbers, all that stuff. Just kind of use that as a place to consolidate all of the information from your career, just to prove the employment section.
Okay.
Would be
Okay.
would be really good. The first thing that business owners see is your headline, that headline tag, and then just your profile photo. So nice, clean profile photo, and then a headline, short,
Mhm.
sweet, showcasing who you are and what you've done, will be enough to grab attention. And then a really really strong intro video. I know like the intro video is 90+% of it. A good intro video, you'll land
Okay.
tons of interviews. A bad one, you won't, or regardless of
Okay.
whatever else you've got in the resume.
Okay. So that's something that the AI, the tool that you've created, is really beneficial.
Yeah, it'll help you
Yeah.
script that out. But you can also we can also script one out here as well if you need help with it. If you do
Okay.
create one, feel free to also post it in the community if you're there in school, or you can bring it to these calls, and then we
Okay.
can
Okay.
review your intro video, and then I can give you my feedback directly as well.
Okay. Thank you. So is it, I think that would be beneficial for everybody here. Is it the script has a specific flow to it, or is it more like energy, presence, cadence, those things?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what you say is really is good. It's going to be helpful, but yeah, I would say your energy, your cadence. So what business owners are thinking about when they're looking at your intro video is they're saying, okay, if I took um, the way Daria's showing up here, location, microphone, camera quality, everything, cadence, energy, all of that, and I just took out everything she said and put my pitch in her mouth, and she said my pitch that way with that energy, with that cadence, would she sell? Because what you're
Yeah.
doing essentially is you're saying, this is a pitch of me. I'm selling my sales service. This is how
Mhm.
I sell, right? So if you're not selling yourself with a degree of excitement, if you're not selling yourself with a degree of confidence, if you're, you know what I mean, then
Yeah.
you gotta sell yourself. You gotta convince them, right? So that's
Mhm.
that's what they're mainly looking for, because the track record and everything else, like they can just look at the resume, they can just look at the numbers and what's there to get that information, but it's how do you present and package that information, because they're going to give
Mhm.
you a pitch, and regardless of what's said in the pitch, how you package and present it is going to make a huge difference on the sales call.
Mhm. Absolutely. Thank you. Do you also, lastly, for um, if I, let's say I have interest in different industries, do you recommend also applying or posting that on the profile, or keeping it more kind of condensed to one industry or similar industries?
Well, it depends on like where you'd post it. You can put all the industries that you're interested in for sure. You can say like, I'm interested in these industries, this is what I'm looking to get into. That's totally fine. You can apply to as many industries as you're interested in for sure.
Mhm. Okay. Well, if again, I think if you have the skill set and you can be passionate about different things, but if you're in my practice, again, if some recruiters or companies potentially they could be looking at, okay, if you have experience in this, they would
Yeah,
only
it
be
will be
looking at,
easiest. Yeah, it will be
yeah.
easiest to land roles in industries like, for example, a finance coaching program is probably going to be super easy for you to land a role in that industry, in that niche. So it will be easier, but I wouldn't say use that as a reason to just not apply anywhere else.
Mhm. I'm a coach as well. I do peak performance training. So I work with the mind, I work with the just overall with the body, I work with CEOs. So I would say that that opens up the door to so many different
Yeah, there's
uh,
a wide range that can be done with
companies,
that.
and it's a wide range, but I want to be intentional. And also, again, in your practice, maybe there's some things you can give us pointers on, like specifically when speaking to recruiters or company owners.
Yeah,
But thank
when
you.
you're on the call and you're speaking to them, it's all about pulling parts of what you've done or parts of what you're interested in and these things, and speaking to why it makes you a good fit for that role specifically. Like on an interview, you don't have to talk about everything you've ever done, but you would emphasize and highlight your background
Mhm.
in coaching. If you were on a personal development offer, if you're on a finance offer, you'd
Yeah.
highlight your sales manager experience with finance offers, right?
Mhm. Thank you.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much.
No worries. Nora, what's up, man? You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Ty. How's it going? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Perfect, perfect. I saw you doing keepy uppies on your Instagram, so hopefully you caught the final yesterday. Um,
Yeah.
it's just a quick one. I've like started setting up my profile on Rep Select, and I started reaching out to recruiters. Funnily enough, I actually got an interview today, which was super quick. I had another interview with Closers.io, Zach Brown through my academy as well. So I'm just trying to like reach out at the moment and just apply as many as possible. I'm in a bit of a predicament, so I just needed a bit of course correcting basically. So, well, not necessarily a predicament. Basically, I don't know if I'm being too ambitious, but I don't want to waste time on a bad offer, basically. And so both Closers.io and Zach Brown, I mean, I actually had an interview with Closers.io, but they basically told me that he understands like my vision and what I'm going for, but at the moment they don't necessarily have anything that fits that criteria. I think mainly because they're really hesitant. Because I know a lot of people have mentioned here as well, they're in like the same boat where it's, hey, I've got a sales background or I've got a corporate background, but don't have the basically the evidence to back it up. Um, but yeah, sorry, I need to condense it into an actual question. But I guess I'm like targeting roles that are like between 10 and 20K per month. Um, and I mean, I applied to one that got added. I think what was his name? But like that Impression Empire one. What do you think in terms of shall I reduce my not demands, but shall I reduce my goals, or is it more of a case of if I really apply to as many as possible, then it can happen essentially? Because I'm in a situation where I have like enough saved where I can basically I have time on my side. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got time on your side, getting the experience is always going to be the most valuable. But one thing, and this goes for everyone, one thing we have to remember is that a lot of people, they put like way too much weight on listed OTE, right? Because the OTE is a combination of the company's systems and your skill set, and you don't know how that combination will multiply, right?
Hmm.
So I've gone into offers where the OTE was much lower than what I was able to come in and produce. I've gone into offers where the OTE was stated to be higher, right? At the end of the day, just because a company says, okay, it's a 6K OTE doesn't mean you can't walk in there and make 10, right? It is a commission role. It's based on your ability to produce. And this, the OT, it's not like other jobs where we're not talking salary here. They're not saying this is the salary range. That's what you're going to get paid. It's like, this is the on track earnings based on the lead flow, based on the key performance indicators on what the average person has produced in this role, which means there's people that outperform and there's people that underperform. What the average is this. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I've had sales reps jump into offers with 10, 15K OTE. They jumped on there and produced 25K a month. It's like, don't put so much weight on OTE. Do the math on numbers and see if you're willing to do that kind of work, right? So I would look at how many calls are going to be generated, how many leads are coming in. Am I able to self-set and close my own deals to increase my call volume if I wanted to? If so, is there a higher commission that I could earn for that, right? Instead of 10%, could I get 15, 20% for if I dialed some of the leads myself and booked them into my own calendar, right? So, for example, the OTE might be 5K a month because they provide 3-4 calls a day at like a 5K offer, whatever percentage. But then they're like, oh yeah, well, if you wanted to, you could dial the leads that are coming in and set them for yourself, and we'll give you a higher percentage, and you could earn an extra 5K a month just doing that, you know, in the other 3 to 4 hours a day that you wouldn't be doing anything otherwise. So I would just do the math and have discussions with the business owner on what the numbers actually are, and that'll give you a really clear idea of what's the potential on that offer is. What is the close rate? What's the show rate? How many calls are being booked per day? And then kind of do the math, you know, and go from there. And see
Okay.
like if I maximize my time, what am I most likely to earn here?
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I just have just one more question. So, I'm setting up my profile on the rep select thing. Is it a case of where if my profile isn't fully 100% completed, then basically it's not going to be listed like at all?
It'll be listed once you have like an intro video, a photo uploaded and some other stuff. It doesn't need to be 100% 100%. But obviously you want to just 100% it, because
Yeah.
that's like, I can't remember exactly which stuff needs to be filled out, but I know for sure it needs to have an intro video, it needs to have a profile photo, it needs to have headline. But I mean, yeah, once you have
Yeah,
that
because
stuff,
it says
you can fill it
verify
out.
sales experience, and I'm like, I uploaded like screenshot of revenue. Is there any
Yeah,
way I can
you
verify it
don't.
or?
Yeah, so someone on our team, they'll look at that, they'll verify it, but it doesn't. Job experience doesn't need to be verified in order for it to be listed. That wouldn't be what's
Okay,
holding it back from saying like it's listed either.
okay. And then in terms of the interview I had today, I feel like it went well
Hmm.
because obviously I'm competing against, I think they had three interviewers, but the interview went really well, and I was surprised because I haven't actually practiced the high ticket calls yet. And I noticed with Closers.io and Zach Brown, for example, they really need like these mock calls. So I'm going to try and maybe work on getting those done in the next couple of weeks through my community and other places. So
Yep.
for that role, it's interesting. They basically said like they're offering like training. They're hiring like people from Closers.io to like train their reps as well. And like they have like a good
Yeah.
ramp up and
So you're talking about, is this a Closers.io? Is a company that Closers.io is placing for? You're talking about? They're placing
no,
reps,
so no, so
or
so this was a role through I got through one of the um recruiters. I'm trying to remember their name. Uh it was Rep Lineup from the recruiters on the Rep Select
okay.
page. Yeah, so it's
So
one
so and they
mhm.
said that trainers from Closers.io are training that
No,
sales
like
team.
they're taking on trainers or something like that. I don't know what that is. Like, is that a service they offer where they basically help train their reps? Because
Closers.io does do training and placement. Yeah, I used to.
right.
So the way Closers, I used to work there. The way
Okay.
Closers.io works is they they're a recruitment firm, but the way they recruit is they sell like a 20K um, marketing, coaching, consulting package to businesses, and part of that, they get like a CSM that coaches the business owners on their marketing, their VSL, all in their ads and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then they get a recruiter to also place reps into the business, so that when they get the marketing going, they also
Okay.
ensure a rep is going into an offer that has good marketing, right? Because if it's a pretty good system, because if you just place reps into companies and their marketing sucks, then the rep's not happy. So they actually provide marketing coaches to coach the business, and those marketing coaches also sometimes manage the sales team or do like call reviews and train the sales team as well. So it's kind of like it's like a coaching program for business owners, where as part of the coaching program you get marketing training, sales training for your sales team, and they have the recruiting firm that places the sales team for them.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, so you might just be, there's a lot of sales teams where you might get placed into an offer, and then they've got closed IO people training the sales team as well. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Nice one. Cheers.
cool. Lily, you had a question?
Yeah, so I just shared the screenshot of my profile, which says like step one, step two, step one, step
Like
two.
applying to jobs and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
I passed the foundation test, yes, and then it says subscribe to apply to 5 jobs. I cannot apply.
Yeah, so are you just looking to complete your profile?
I am on my profile. I'm on my profile. Step three would be apply to to jobs. If I try to apply to jobs, it's not there. Uh, Still,
Well, that's what I'm
I
saying. Like, are you looking to just complete your profile? Because if you are, you would just need to scroll down and just fill out everything on the profile, and then it'll say profile complete.
the only thing I'm missing is portfolio. I have a Loom. I have a resume. This employment verification. One is in progress, the last one, and two of them from 3 years ago, 2 years ago, they have to be verified, not
Yeah,
verified
and
yet.
it looks like you got to fill out your headline as well. If you click beside your name, there's a little pencil. You can put your headline in there, and then once your headline's in there, and then everything else is filled out. Portfolio isn't required, but once you got an intro video, I think you said you do have that. You've got your headline filled out. I saw you have a profile photo uploaded
Yeah,
there.
okay.
You should be good to go.
What do you suggest for the profile headline?
Nothing crazy. I mean, you could just whatever role you're looking for. You can, like, if you're a closer, for example, you can just put like experienced closer. You can put if there's a specific niche you want to sell in, you can put that there as well. But yeah, you don't need to overthink the headline. You can put a stat there that's really good, but if you don't have the track record, that's fine. But yeah, I wouldn't put too much in the headline because it'll make your profile card look bulky. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If I need other support, there is a support, right? They can reach.
Yeah, you can just shoot me a message on School. You can put a message in the community.
I will wait for a couple of days and then I will see if I need this. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. No problem.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I could probably hit you with the final one, Ty, if that's all right, mate. Just basically around commission and like payment frequency, I'm a little bit sort of wondering how it goes, and this may vary from company to company, but is it generally you get paid once a month or as commissions roll in, or what's the situation with that?
Yeah, it varies from company to company. I've been a part of companies where it was weekly. I've been a part of companies where it was bi-weekly. I've been a part of companies where it was monthly. It just depends on the company that you work with. Yeah. But usually I've never seen longer than like monthly, so
Yeah.
you're not going to get into
no worries.
an annually.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. All right, cheers. Thanks for that.
Cool. Any other questions, or are we all out?
Hi, I have a quick question.
What's up?
Hi. How often do you make these support calls?
Every single Monday at the same time.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any others?
And we can subscribe to the same link. We can subscribe.
Yeah, once you since you're on your profile, there'll be a bunch of buttons all over the place to kind of upgrade or subscribe, or when you try to apply it to it, like on a job post, if you're not subscribed, there'll be a button there that will bring you to like the subscribe page. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Any final questions? Or are we good to go? Going once, going twice. Cool. Awesome. Well,
Okay,
hopefully
sorry.
you have another one? Go ahead.
Last one. Some general advice for new people in here. Just the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of could ramble on for hours. I guess so. For people that are new to remote sales, what I would say is a couple things. One, kind of like what I told Noor, don't get too obsessed with the OTE figure, right? Don't be afraid to take on a role with a lower OTE. I would look more at systems. Do they have testimonials? Do they have case studies? Do they have a consistent way of generating leads? Even if it's not a ton of them, is it consistent? Do they have a good close rate? Has the founder closed before, or is their current reps there closing? Another thing, instead of looking at OTE, even if the OTE is high, I want to know what work is going into producing that OTE. For example, I've worked with reps who took 6 calls a day. They were doing 15, 20K a month. And then I've had reps that were doing 14 calls a day, doing 15 to 20K a month. So at the end of the day, depending on how the offer operates, you want to kind of see what work goes into the OTE, not just say, okay, OTE is this, therefore I'm going to enjoy working here, right? So you want to know kind of fully what's going on in terms of the work that goes into it. And yeah, I would say those are the main things that I would keep in mind, is just when you're speaking to these companies, know that you are vetting them just as much as they're vetting you. And getting the numbers is going to help you get the reality of it, because at the end of the day, sometimes companies, they have different ways of calculating OTE. There's not an industry standard way of calculating OTE as well, where it's like we all agree this is how we do it. We specifically split it down the middle based off of our highest performer and worst performer. Some business owners do it differently because the industry is not, you're mainly working with smaller companies, smaller teams. These aren't massive corporate giants for the most part. So there's a little bit of nuance to how some of these things are calculated. So the numbers are going to always give you a better look, a better picture of what's going on at the organization. And then you can make your decision from there. Khadija, you had another question? No problem.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I want to ask that what should a beginner look for in a commission and OT? What kind of money should I look?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry especially if I was brand new. Your goal is to get in and get your track record start to be built, right? Like whatever allows you to start earning some commissions so that you have numbers to talk about when you're applying for your next role will be helpful. As for what offers to go for, it's all going to depend on your current situation. So for example, like Noor said, he's not necessarily in a rush. He's got, I guess a runway of cash where he's, he can cover whatever bills he has for a little while he looks for offers and kind of transition into the industry. Not everyone is in that situation. Not everyone wants to wait. Some people, you know what I mean? So sometimes you got to take on an offer part-time while you work your full-time role and, maybe do some cold outreach to get your feet wet and start to understand if you even like doing sales in the first place, right? Before you jump ship and quit your job, maybe see if you can negotiate a part-time offer. Maybe you can negotiate doing some cold calling on the weekends for a company. Maybe you can, and then start to see, okay, this is what it's really like to be on these kind of calls. This is what it's like to have these kind of conversations, and go from there,
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Kiss, you had a question?
Hi, nice to meet you, everybody. I would like to ask that is there a thing that you can be a better closer compared to a setter? Because I was a setter before, so it was like an e-commerce offer. It was very cool, actually. Um, but is there a thing that you can imagine yourself to be a better closer, maybe? Because I can see you, and I can see you guys, and I feel like I'm present, so I can speak more calmly and I can focus on the lead, for example. Is there a thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, great closer doesn't always mean great setter. I wouldn't look at closing as like the upgrade of the setter. It's more, they're just
Mm-hmm.
different positions. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They're just different roles, and some people, they thrive in a setting role more than a closer role, and some people thrive in a role more than a setter role. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. It takes different things. It takes different skills. As a setter, it takes someone who is really down to just have a little bit more of a grind mindset when it comes down to it. Setting is more of a grind. It's all about volume. It's all about numbers. And some people can just smile and dial. There's pros like a little bit more schedule control. There's more like less pressure of any single conversation. No, like you're not having to close as well. So there's pros and cons to both. If you are someone who can build rapport super quick, you've got like high energy type of vibe where you can just, hey, how's it going? And you can kind of get into conversations quickly. That usually bodes really well for someone who is an appointment setter, just kind of picking up the phone and talking to people and catching people in the middle of their day, right? Whereas a closer, you have to understand how to build trust really, really well. There has to be a really deep level of care for the people, because people are gonna be like pouring out their guts, for 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Sure.
Sometimes
Yes.
it's gonna be really heavy conversations depending on what's being sold, right? Like I've sold like a one that helps men with their marriage with their wives. Like those are heavy conversations, you know, to be having back to back all day every day. If you're not prepared to hear some crazy stuff and respond accordingly with empathy, then you know it can be a lot, right? There's going to be conversations where you're going to have to help people really overcome serious fears of, you know, moving forward or doing things. And again, if you're not prepared to have those type of deep conversations with people, it can be a lot, right? So it's just different skill sets, different desires, different types of conversations. So yeah, you can definitely be a better closer than you are a setter, and vice versa.
I mean, I feel it, that was the why about, because when I was a setter, I just caught myself wondering other things, I was not present at all. And it was a big problem. I mean, I generated very good revenue and we scaled up more than 100K, So it was very cool, but in the end, I was not feeling so good about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, being a setter requires just like a really high energy, fast paced kind of thing, right? And not for me personally, like I would believe I perform way better in closing roles than I have in setting roles, because I like to just speak a little bit more calmly and have the longer conversation than what it would require to do setting. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No problem. Any other questions? Awesome. Good to go. Alrighty. Well, hopefully this call was valuable for you all. Like I said before, we do these every single Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So if you ever need support, profile reviews, intro video reviews, even if you want to review some mock calls, do some sales training, yeah, that's what these calls are all about. So feel free to jump on next week. I'll be posting the recording probably in the next week or so of this as well in the community. And if you go in the community and you look at like the training piece, there's tons of recordings of these calls as well if you want to look at some of the past ones. So it's all there, and a lot of them are on YouTube as well. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for coming.
Cheers, Ty. Till next week.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, I
Bye.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Later.
It was great.